Hello everyone, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you all back to my next video. I present to all of you here on YouTube, and this is going to be another speculation video relating to the Super Smash Bros. Series, but it's not going to be in my Smash Bros. Stage idea videos. That's going to be coming up real soon. I know, I'm sorry, I haven't done one of those in like a couple weeks now. They're coming back. But it's going to be going on a topic that basically a lot of Smash fans, a lot of Nintendo gamers in general, have been doing recently since Byleth was announced back in freaking, January. Basically, we got Byleth. That was the final fifth character for the Fighters Pass that we've known since pretty much Smash Bros. Ultimate came out at the end of 2018. They're going to do DLC. We got Joker, Banjo-Kazooie, we got the hero from Dragon Quest, Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury, and Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses. And they announced we are getting a secondary Fighters Pass, and a lot of Smash fans, a lot of gamers, and the Nintendo fan base and whatnot, like always with Smash Brothers, because this has been going on since pretty much Brawl. People have been speculating heavily since Brawl. Who are these 6 characters we've been getting? They've been diving deep into it. They've been looking at the clues and the patterns and whatnot. They've been talking about who they want to see, who they think to see, who they expect to have a chance. They've been listening to game devs who've been asked this question by gamers online and be like, okay, that character's crossed off, that character's crossed off, who's the spirits and whatnot. They've been going crazy trying to predict who these 6 characters we're going to be in between now and next year's Christmas in 2021. And this is going to be my video. This is going to be my 6 I am predicting and speculating to be in the DLC. And it's going to be pretty quick because I don't know how much my phone memory here is. My newer phone has enough space to do a video, so it should be pretty quick. So let me run down the 6 characters I feel before this thing dies on me, or enough memory, or whatever the heck it is. The first character I heavily speculate, I do think we're going to probably be getting Crash Bandicoot from the Crash Bandicoot series. He is a popular third-party character that has Nintendo, around since like the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance and whatnot. That they did the the Insane Trilogy, which was on the Switch, and there's talks about the character coming back, and he has had cameos and whatnot in like third-party Activision, whatever, with Nintendo characters, and we're gonna bound to get at least one Western character in this game, like in this DLC. It's not all going to be Japanese and Eastern support. We're going to get at least one Western-based, American-based character, and if there's one character, I think outside of say like Shantae or my one choice I'm going to do after this, I do think Crash Bandicoot is a top choice for that, and he is a legendary popular video game character from the Mascot era, and he pretty much was Sony's Sonic and Mario back in that time frame, and he's returned, and there's a demand for new games and speculation on new games, and that's one of the heavy things I was looking at when I was coming up with these 6 characters, recent and upcoming new games, because that kind of felt like that was part of like the first Fighters Pass, like some sort of relevancy and recency, which I talked about in my speculation a lot in the past. I do think Crash Bandicoot is a top choice for this DLC, and I think he'd be cool. And as my second character, which would be my second Western-based character in this, out of these 6, Doomslayer from the Doom series. Doom Eternal's coming out later this month. All these Doom games are like DLC. Have downloadable games like on the eShop, 1, 2, and 3, and 64, and like the series is like the grandfather of first-person shooters. I think we're gonna get. We got Banjo and Kazooie as the one Western-based character in the first Fighters Pass. I think this one will get 2, and that's gonna be the 2 I picked. And I mentioned Shantae before. I super heavily wanted her on this, to put her on this thing, and she still stands a chance, even with her spirit. But that's the reason why I excluded her. She was on my original version of this list, and that's when I put Crash Bandicoot instead. It was originally going to be Doom Guy and Shantae, so we have a big indie developer because Nintendo supports indies. But I'm picking Crash Bandicoot instead, and just because of the spirit reason not to include her. But she was on my original list, and I'm still heavily considering her for these 6. So it's going to be Doom Guy and Crash Bandicoot for 2 Western developers-based characters. And I think they both make sense because they're legendary characters in their own right, have a long history on Nintendo, and have recent games on Nintendo, both the Insane Trilogy, Doom Eternal, various other Doom games. The speculation of another Crash Bandicoot game, like Crash Bandicoot's going to make a return, newer games. Yeah, I think those are the 2 I'm heavily speculating on. Fourth, I think we're going to get another Namco character. We haven't got one since Smash Bros. 4 with Pac-Man. And a lot of people speculate on a Tekken character. but I'm going for one that's a little bit more historically, connected to Nintendo. That's going to be a Tails character, and the one to technically go for could be Lloyd Irving or Yuri Lowell. But like Lloyd Irving's the more Nintendo-oriented one. Yuri's more of a popularity-based one. It could be either or. You could probably even do both somehow in the same moveset, even though Lloyd uses two swords. I think a Tails character in general, it's not going to be a specific one. It could be either Lloyd or Yuri. Whatever pick you want to go for. I'm more, I have more of a history with like Lloyd because it is an older game and I've played Symphonia well before Vesperia, but like it could be either or. But I think it's gonna be a Tails character because Tails has been on there since Tales of Fantasia on the Super Famicom. Numerous Tails games are on Nintendo, and I'd say that would make more sense than a Tekken character. Now, when Namco eventually gets a third character, maybe the next Smash Bros., then maybe add Tekken or Soul Calibur. But in my opinion, if Namco is to get a secondary rep, it should be a Tails character, and it should be either Lloyd Irving or Yuri Lowell. That's 3. 4th, Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. Suda's such friends with Sakurai. There's close friendship there. The No More Heroes series is basically known to be on Nintendo. Now I know the first game was remastered or remade or whatever on the PS3 back in the day, but the series never took off there. The series took off on Nintendo. The first 2 games on the Wii. Travis Strikes back. Travis Strikes Again on the frickin' Switch. Now No More Heroes 3 is coming out sometime this year in 2020. A big advertisement character for a third-party character that is closely knit to Nintendo, a newer character, so it's not all classic older characters. His moveset would be interesting. There's a friendship there with Sakurai. In a future of the series too, besides 3, there's probably gonna be more No More Heroes, and he could be a third party that could stick around for future Smash Bros. Games because there's gonna be future No More Heroes games. And I think it's a lesser known character, but one that's known enough that makes sense for Smash Bros. And I have seen people speculating on them. On him being in, so I'd say go for Travis Touchdown. That's 4. Number 5 is going to go to a new Capcom character, because we haven't had a new Capcom character since they decided to add Ken, which was an echo of Ryu, so Mega Man, Ryu/Ken. The next franchise I would represent from Capcom is going to be Devil May Cry's Dante. Now, that series doesn't have as much history as, say, Ace Attorney or Resident Evil or the Monster Hunter series, but I think Monster Hunter kind of lost their chance when Rathalos was just made a boss in the game and they didn't decide to add a character. And Phoenix Wright seems more like a next-time character, like maybe the 4th rep from the series. Resident Evil has the spirit, so that might count them out. And other franchises like Beautiful Joe and whatnot would make sense after the fact. So that really much only leaves Devil May Cry and Dante. The games have been starting to come to Nintendo. 1 and 2 are on there. 3's on its way. Eventually 4 is probably going to be on there. I'm sure 5 is going to be on the Switch at some point. The series is starting to make history on Nintendo. He's a popular requested character with big moveset potential. He's a legendary character from like the 2000s. I would say add him. And then you could eventually add Resident Evil and Ace Attorney and Monster Hunter later on. But add Devil May Cry to join the Mega Man and Street Fighter franchises and Smash Brothers. And that's my 5 third party. I'm going to have 1 Nintendo. Is my 6th character. And I'm going to do it exactly like Byleth and Fire Emblem Three Houses in the first Fighter's Pass. A character from a more recent game as like advertisement. And I know people are going to hate that, but I think that's a big idea. And that's what I did with the other third parties on this list too. So, and I just feel it makes sense all around for Nintendo and third parties. And my choice goes to a Pokemon from Sword and Shield. Now, my personal choice, it could be any character. I'm just thinking it's going to be a Pokemon that represent 8th generation of Pokemon on Sword and Shield. It could be that new monkey thing that they're doing. I forgot the name of the DLC character it was. It could be Cinderace. It could be Rillaboom. It could be the Antilleon, whatever it is. It could be any of the starters. It could be the big legendary thing. It could be one of the legendary, like, wolf things. It could be anything, but I'm going to say a Gen 8 Pokemon, and my personal choice would be Cinderace, and people I know would hate probably another fire-based Pokemon, but I think Cinderace would have a more interesting moveset than some of the other choices, unless they go for that legendary new DLC, extra, like, legendary monkey thing that they just announced, like, a week or so ago in Famitsu, or whatever it was, or if they go for the other legendary wolves or something. But I'm going to go with Cinderace. Cinderace would be my 6th choice and represent a new Pokemon character from a new game that ties in to that game, like how Byleth tied into Three Houses for Fire Emblem. And that's my 6. It's going to be Crash Bandicoot, Doomslayer, Travis Touchdown, Lloyd Irving, or Yuri Lowell, Dante, and then Cinderace. Put in the comment section what you guys think. Would you be happy with the 6 I picked? Did any of the 6 I picked make no sense? Put in the comment section below. Discuss it there. My name is Snipes. It was fun. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Have a lovely day. And put in the comment section who you want to see in the Fighters Pass. Bye.